Y'all know I love you because I'm coming on my lunch break because they decided we needed a 8-hour meeting today, okay? But I love y'all enough that I'm deciding to come out and talk about Married at First Sight, season 18, episode 15, Cheat and Retreat, because it deserves a conversation, even though y'all wasted our time. Even though y'all wasted a lot of our time, the first 30, 40 minutes were insignificant. But y'all, we are going to dive in. So come on, let's get into it.
Only apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you ain't apply that. Love a bone, give along, leave it. I don't want no trip, baby, say like
My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. And I am here to put you on, okay? Couple, you know how I do it every week. And honestly, we're not even going to go couple by couple because this primarily revolved around David, Michelle, Madison, Allen. I mean, that's what it was. MM was there. We know Akechi wasn't there. MM, I need you to sit down, though, sis. Don't be nobody's counselor. Don't partaketh in the messeth at all. Just be a silent bystander at this point. You know what I mean, sis? Like that's all you can do. I will say I appreciated your comfort of Alan at the end. That was kind. That was warm, which we already know you are. But as far as the advice with Michelle and I would sit and stand away from the advice. And again, the Cankle King was nowhere to be found. Which to me is a good day. To me, it's an amazing day where we don't have to see the Cankle King gout-ridden, Cankle King of Chicago. It's a happy day that I didn't have to see him at all this episode. Let's start out with Carla and Juan because they are the brother and sister pair we never knew we needed on Married at First Sight. They are the cousins. They are the besties because at this point he thinks he's Patrick Swayze and Ghost gonna teach her how to make some pottery. I don't know why Juan feels the need to try to be the expert in every situation in everybody's business. Juan, sit down somewhere and be quiet. That's all I can say to you, buddy boy. And the mustache, the Pancho Villa, I mean the Wyatt Earp, they've called you everything in the comments last night. And if you're missing the live watch alongs, what are you doing? Be there Tuesday nights where we watch Married at First Sight live. It's a good time. But yeah, I'm so bored with the both of them. And I mean, she's giggling. At this point, I think they've chalked this experience up to what it's going to be for them. And that's a big fat L. You know what I mean? So I guess they figured let's be kind to each other. Let's just enjoy what we have while we're having it and ease on down the road. But Carla, I got one bone to pick with you, sis. You knew the whore of Babylon was the whore of Babylon. You was out with her that night. You knew the circumstances surrounding this because you told us in the after show last week. And the way you got up here and acted like you didn't know anything when Michelle was on her campaign of ruination pissed me off, Carla, because I thought you're supposed to stand on big business, right? What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And in the clip that we see for next week, I see you're going to go down that path, but it wasn't soon enough for me, Carla. Skip all that pottery. Tell her what happened that night, the night in question of it all, right? Because that's what we need. Thomas and Camille, baby, are just innocent bystander. That man is so comfortable with Camille, baby. When I tell you he was asleep up under her on the couch, I said, well, Thomas, I'm not mad. And Camille's just there. Camille's just happy to be in the house. They don't have problems. I don't know why the producers, because I'm going to blame it on the producers, are trying to put them up to having all of this animus or whatever the issues are between them because I don't see it, y'all. They just seem like a couple that's set in and they're chilling, observing the wreckage. That's what it gave. That's what it gives. Okay. So now let's get into the meat of it. So we know the first part of the episode, we're coming off Madison running out of the room because it got too hot in the kitchen. Because she feels guilty. And you got Michelle's wheels turning when you left Horror Babylon. Because why? Why leave? Just said, Alan, have you kissed her since the wedding? That's all that was said. That wasn't justification to get up and run away. Unless you're the Horror Babylon that I've known you've been the entire time. Right. And so we see that couples go on their individual dates. Like I said, Carla and Wancho, they go do pottery, and Alan and Madison go kart racing. Here's my issue with the Whore of Babylon. You sit and you smile in this man's face and you sell him a dream, basically, but not quite, but just enough to keep him on the hook, knowing full damn well You're busting it wide open for that basement dwelling, second shift job having genie in the lamp. And it's despicable. It's so duplicitous to me. I don't know how you smile in this man's face knowing he's spent multiple bags just trying to be acceptable to you, trying to fix every little thing about himself to be with you, and you could give a damn. Baby, may you reap what you sow in this situation. And may the Lord have mercy. Because baby, all dogs don't go to heaven. I don't know. I don't understand how you can function like this. So they're having a good time, go-kart racing. They come back to the house and Michelle is on her campaign. She done talked to Carla and Camille, and is like, listen, I think it's Madison. I'm Michelle. She's Madison in the phone. And the way she got it from the table, I didn't like it. So what do? I'm going to talk to Alan. I'm going to talk to Madison. I'm going to talk to them alone first and get the opinion and see where this goes. And I'm gonna talk to David again. She goes and talks to David. David says, listen, I'm done with it. She's like, well, I think you texted Madison. I don't think Tiffany exists. Well, you could think that, but you'd be wrong. I don't, you believe whatever you want to believe. That's y'all's king. David is y'all's king. For the people in the comments caping for David, this is y'all's king. This is an upright stand-up guy. I don't give a damn what Michelle did. You're never going to make me believe he's a good man, Savannah. He's not. This is not a one-off. This is not a one off. This is a character issue. And I would implore you to dig deep and really look at the situation and understand who David is as a person. This is an integrity issue. This is a loyalty issue. This is a type of man issue, right? This is the type of man that he is. It's so easy for him to get up there and lie badly. It's so easy for him to leave his current situations that was just 8 weeks to go over there running behind Madison. I said it once and I say it again. It happened at the honeymoon. After the honeymoon, there was no trying. To be honest, Michelle was going Michelle. He knew what it was. They went to that gym that one time in on the honeymoon in Mexico, wherever they were, and it was up and it was stuck from there. Michelle was never going to give Alan a chance after that. And I don't know why it's so hard to believe, baby. I don't know why it's so hard to believe. It's the spirit. Y'all get caught up on the look of a thing. You know what I mean? And Madison would have you believe that it was pretty boy looks, but we know that basement dweller looks like Grumpy Bear. It's not a look thing. It's a spirit. They are kindred spirits. Familiar. Because they both got that HOETRY in them. That's what it amounts to. And that attracted to each other, because while people will try to conflate the situation and act like, oh, they just didn't like their partners and that's fine, they can be with each other, it's not okay. They are legally bound. This was an 8-week experiment. It wasn't forever. 2 months. You couldn't keep the nickel between your knees for 2 months. You couldn't keep the dingling in your pants for 2 months. Because my thing is, okay, you guys have a connection. You know your partners are never going to be that for you. We're not going to pursue anything right now because that's disrespectful as hell. Let's just wait. Let's just wait these 8 weeks and let's pop out at the reunion together. Let's pop out after the reunion because this isn't going to work. But no, you guys have no self-control and it's despicable. So basically, Michelle is like, I'm going to talk to David. David's really just, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to talk about this. I'm going back to nap. Is that it? Can I go back napping? I don't care what you think. It's Madison. Okay, that's what you think. All right. All right, let me talk to Madison. Goes and talks to Madison. Is like, I think this text was meant to you. Well, it shouldn't have been. I don't know. The nervous laughter sent me. Whore Babylon. You're bad at it. You're bad at it. And Michelle's like, listen, I don't believe you. All this, well, there's nothing I can do, nothing I can say. No. Because let me see your phone. She brings the phone, everything's deleted. But when we go to the Instagram, when she starts to pull it up, David's the first name that pops up, meaning you communicate with him on a daily. You just delete him. You covered your tracks because that's what snakes do. They shed their skin. You know what I mean? And so Madison tries to act hurt. Like, I can't believe she would think this of me. Next, we see her talking in the hallway to the producer. What should I do? What should I do? And he's like, is there any truth to it? Well, Well, how you know? And then we get a 5 to 10 minute acting lesson. The performance of the night, because it wasn't of the year, of the decade, of the century, because it was tired. And do y'all think that the viewing audience is this dumb? Producers, Whore of Babylon, Basement Dweller, do you think we're idiots? Like we don't know that this is something y'all concocted to do? Talk about, yeah, I just want to know, I just want you to know, David, I have feelings for you. I probably feel for you more than I should. And I just can't in good conscience proceed on with my marriage. And I'm not saying we have to be together, but I would just like to see what this is. And he's like, you know me better than my wife does. I totally feel what you're saying. And so we're to believe that this heart to heart moment is a one off. They've never had this conversation before. Y'all want us to believe they haven't been smashing. What kind of fools do you think we are? Married at first sight, Whore of Babylon, and basement dwelling man whore. What do you think this is? We know. We know. Y'all could have saved this. Y'all could have saved this little soliloquy, whatever you want to call it, this little dialogue that you guys had amongst yourselves, because we already knew. And we don't believe any of this for a second. Oh, we're going to see now. We're going to pursue it now. David takes this time in his rainbow sherbet pants to go outside and have a conversation with Alan. Because, mind you, Michelle has talked to Alan and said, what do you think? Do you think Madison and David? Alan says, no, of course not. Why would it be? And then he starts thinking, it could be. It could be. Alan, the Lord sent you dreams. He sent you an angel. He's probably sent a dove that sat on your shoulder and told you that Madison was the whore of Babylon, but you wanted to believe so much. And what I think is interesting about this season is that so often we see women in this predicament. We see women who are in situations where they've changed everything about themselves, where they've given all that they can, where the experts have come to them and said that you need to be his safe space to land. Maybe you're just asking too many questions. Maybe you just need to relax and go with the flow. No, change that. That's all he's asking for. Go ahead and change that. But now we've seen it with a man, and both ways it's heartbreaking, but literally he's tried to change everything he was to be with her. He wants so to believe that she is a good woman, that she is his wife, that she's going to be his forever. And it was never going to be that. Nothing of the sort, Alan. And so now David is taking him outside to have a man-to-man conversation where he's like, listen, I got feelings for your wife, man. I got feelings for your wife, bro. What? Alan's like, just say it. Just say it. He's like, yeah, she knows me better than I know myself. Alan said, "Oh, F that. He said F you and F her. David said, you can say F me, but not F, no, F her too, because she didn't even try. David says, oh, yes, she tried. David, my guy, this is not the conversation. This is not a conversation of humility or apology. It's nothing, because you're just a terrible human being. At this point, you're going to justify to this man why you stepped in and snatched his wife. Not to say you snatched her because she was willing participant. She might have actually pursued it, to be honest with you. But the fact that you got in his face, and it was with all of the gall and audacity. Nah, man, that's why we connected. We were both going through the same thing. Y'all were not both going through the same thing. You and Madison were not going through the same thing. Madison didn't want to try with her good man. And Michelle just didn't want a basement dweller. The situations are completely different. I can relate to you though, Alan, bro. I can just relate to you because that's what I was going through, and me and Madison just connected. Alan said, "F that B, F you, F her, F everybody." Did you F her? David, no, man, no. It's not even like that, David. You're a liar, and you're a terrible liar. We know y'all have been busting it down all over Chicago, these late nights, early mornings. We know what it is. We know what it was. We know what it has been. Alan gets up. He's enraged. Everybody stay out of my face. Get that hoe out of my face. Everybody needs to stay out of my face. He's punching cabinets. He's spilling his drink. He's like, I've given everything I've had. I've changed so much of myself. MM goes out to console him. Wancho starts talking. Wancho, shut up. He's like, listen, I'm done here. I'm going home. They're like, you can't drive. Calls an Uber, packs his duffel bag, and he's like, I'm out of here. Madison, does he want to talk to me? Ho, no. Madison's hiding behind the wall upstairs, not even woman enough to go and address the situation herself. That was your husband. That wasn't David's husband. That was your husband. That was the very least you could have done, was to be honest with him. As far as I'm concerned, Alan gave 110%, even in his anger when Michelle comes in. He's like, I don't want to be disrespectful, so I don't want to say, how I feel in front of you. I just need time. That's the type of man that we're dealing with in Alan. And the fact that you didn't even feel the decency or courtesy to let him know, hey, listen, even if it was off camera, listen, this isn't working. I'm not going to embarrass you on national TV. I'm not going to have you up here looking crazy. This is what it is. Let's move accordingly based on that. There's no part of a woman in her to me, not a real woman. Not because if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Just say that. But I think it's the public humiliation, the constant critiquing and degrading him, knowing you was already over there with the basement dweller. It's insidious and it's sick and it's super dark, and it speaks to their hearts in my mind. It speaks to the lack of empathy, the lack of concern, the selfishness. Like it just speaks volumes to me, her character as well as David's. I'm disgusted, but I need to see more. I need to see more next week. I need to see what's going to happen when the group gets back together. The Kanko King of Chicago will be back there. Everyone will be back there, y'all. I'm outdone, and I'll be honest. I wanted Alan to crash out a little bit. I wanted him to backhand David. I wanted a little bit of smoke in the city because I think he deserved to get that off his chest. But I'm glad he handled it maturely. He said, I spent $3,000 on that B to try to fix myself to be acceptable and palatable to her. And the experts, y'all better eat crow. I better see some apologies, some groveling. I need to see all of it because y'all made this match. Y'all knew that heifer was for the streets. And you knew David was a basement dweller. Michelle tried to cry this episode because she didn't feel like she was being heard, but now she's vindicated. David comes to talk to her and she's like, so I was right about everything, huh? He says, yeah, I apologize, but I really am a good man. You're not. I think when people have to tell you how good of a person they are, that's the number one indicator that they're, in fact, not a good person. But drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought, you guys. We will be here tonight, Wednesday, February 12th, to chop this up in detail, myself and Tyra over at Struggle Review. So be there or be square. Drop a like, drop a comment, hit the notification bell. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. What are you doing? And I will see you guys in the next video.